These are real words from real English that you may not be familiar with. Hello, my dear friends. Let's start learning new words immediately. The first word is ideology. An ideology is a system of ideas and beliefs that form the basis of a political or economic theory, and that usually involves a plan for how society should be organized. Let me show you an example. When someone says they support the American ideology, they probably mean that they believe in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and democracy. Now let's look at our next word. Denounce means to criticize something or someone publicly, often in a very strong way. For example, imagine that you see someone drop a used tissue on the ground. You might want to denounce their bad manners. Our third word is apparatus. This is a complicated one. Apparatus refers to the equipment or machinery that is needed for a particular activity. For example, the apparatus used in a laboratory can include microscopes, test tubes, and computers. But it can also refer to parts of the body. For example, the respiratory apparatus consists of the lungs, trachea, and diaphragm. Or another example, the digestive apparatus consists of the stomach, intestines, and other organs that help break down food. Word 4 is marketplace. A marketplace is a place where goods are bought and sold. It can refer to a physical location like a bazaar or farmer's market, or it can refer to the World Wide Web. And when we use it that way, we're talking about a place where people exchange ideas online. For example, social media can be thought of as a marketplace of ideas. Word 5 is shrug, but wait, what does it mean? Shrug can be both a noun and a verb. As a verb, it means to raise your shoulders in an inward and slightly upward motion, usually to show that you don't know or care about something. Now, as a noun, shrug is an expression of indifference, a kind of nonverbal communication that says, I don't really care about this. For example, you could say, instead of saying sorry, he just shrugged his shoulders. The next word is affection. Affection is a noun that means a feeling of liking and care for someone. It can describe a close relationship between family members, friends, or romantic partners. For example, a son might have great affection for his mother. Or another example, there was no affection between the couple because they were only getting married for money. Our seventh word is undermine. Undermine is a verb that means to make someone or something weaker or less effective. For example, a person who spreads rumors about a coworker is undermining their authority. The next word is chronic. Chronic can be used to describe something that has existed for a long time or is unlikely to change in the future. For example, traffic congestion is a chronic problem in many big cities. Word number 9 is dismissal. The dismissal is an act of sending someone away or the act of being sent away. For example, the dismissal of the employee was unfair. And now we come to the 10th word, continually. This is an adverb that means to do something regularly or frequently. For example, I continually dream about food. In other words, I always dream about food. Let's move on to our 11th word, amateur. Amateur can be used as either an adjective or a noun. As an adjective, it describes something done without professional skill or training. For example, it's not a very good painting, but it's an amateur painting. So it was probably done by someone who is not a professional painter. Then, as a noun, an amateur is a person who does something for pleasure rather than as a job. For example, I'm an amateur photographer. The next word is combat. Combat can be used as both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it refers to fighting between opposing sides. For example, hand-to-hand combat. Or the police tried to restore order in the combat zone. As a verb, to combat means to try to overcome or defeat something. For example, the trainer helped her students combat their fears. The 13th word is allege. To allege is a verb that means to claim or assert that something is true, often without providing proof. For example, the witnesses alleged that they saw the suspect at the scene of the crime. The 14th word is turnover. Turnover can be used as both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it refers to the rate at which employees leave a company and are replaced. For example, high employee turnover can be a sign of a problem. As a verb, to turn over means to roll or to give up. For example, the boxer turned over on the ground, or she turned over her leadership position to a new president. Our 15th word is cabinet. A cabinet is a piece of furniture with drawers or shelves that is used for storing things. It can also refer to a group of advisors who help a leader make decisions. For example, the Prime Minister met with his cabinet to discuss the crisis. The 16th word is glory. Glory is a noun that refers to great fame and admiration. For example, the Olympic champion was celebrated to great glory. The next word is adolescent. An adolescent is a young person who is developing from a child into an adult. It can refer to the period of life between childhood and adulthood, or it can refer to the moodiness or behavior of a teenager. For example, the joys and struggles of adolescence. The 18th word is cognitive. Cognitive is an adjective that relates to the mind or mental processes such as thinking, learning, and remembering. For example, cognitive psychology. The 19th word is discharge. Discharge can be used as both a noun and a verb. As a noun, it refers to the act of releasing or emitting something. For example, the gas cylinder had a discharge of carbon dioxide. Or another example, his honor was evident in his discharge. As a verb, to discharge means to release or emit something. For example, to discharge a debt or to discharge a firearm. And finally, the 20th word is variable. Variable can be used as both a noun and an adjective. As a noun, a variable is something that can be changed or modified. For example, the amount of rainfall is a variable factor in farming. As an adjective, variable means that it can change or vary. For example, variable weather. I'll see you next time. Bye.